Adult movie usage is down 47% since the introduction of the Online Safety Act. But not in my house, it's not. All I did was download Surfshark for less than the price of a coffee a month, and trust me, that is more than paid for itself. 10 times over. Honestly, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I just click on Surfshark on my phone, click on I'm now in America, and then I don't have to do all of this, enter your age, enter your ID. I don't want to send a picture of myself, I just want to see some big boobs. But whatever you're into, Surfshark has got you covered, and it is the easiest app to use ever created. And also, if you want to watch boxing and football, this app is going to come in handy. You know exactly what I'm on about. And it works on all of your devices, so what the hell are you waiting for, lads? Just click the link in the description below. Go to surfshark.com/paingame, and you can get the ultimate game changer for your everyday entertainment in Surfshark for less than the price of a coffee a month. And that includes 4 extra months of Surfshark when you use my link. So not only are you having a good time, you're helping us keep the lights on and make more good content for you. This is a no-brainer. It's a win-win. So do me a favour, get on it. Damn, son. Fuck me. How did Jake Paul actually remain conscious after that? And yeah, he got a broken jaw in 2 different places. And when they zoomed in on his mouth inside after the fight, a row of his teeth had just been dislodged into a whole nother fucking section of his mouth. Whatever you think of Jake Paul, surely that now puts an end to the fixed fight narrative. Like, his mouth is in bits. This was not a fixed fight. No matter how much you dislike it, it was what it was. So how did he do? Well, on the one hand, Jake fucking Paul, the YouTube guy who started by fighting Deji, getting in a ring with AJ is just impressive to start off with. He made it 6 rounds, and when he was getting hurt, he kept getting up, and he showed heart. You know, it probably would have been easy to stay down and not get your teeth shoved into your fucking back of your head. And a lot of people are saying, look, he lasted longer than Francis Ngannou, so that's something. But why did he last longer than Francis Ngannou? Obviously, I think we all know why. Francis Ngannou came into the ring with the belief he could win. He was trying to win from the first bell. Jake Paul was more trying to survive and hope that like a miracle happens in the fight sometime. And when you've got those completely different states of mind, it delivers completely different results, right? Francis is right there in front of you. He's trying to hurt you. He's committing. He's leaving openings because he's committing. The other guy is halfway across the fucking ring. And when one guy isn't wanting to engage, it's really hard to pin them down and hurt them because they're not basically contributing to the sport. You know, we're supposed to be fighting each other, not, you know, you running away from me and me having to run after you. And we've seen this before in other boxing matches. It just makes it a very difficult night for the guy who's trying to be the aggressor, especially when you've got a ring that big and the guy who you're fighting is much smaller and therefore can just get on his bike and run for as long as he can. Now, to be fair to Jake, he did land some shots. He didn't just run, but generally, you know, the game plan was to run a lot, hold whenever he had to. He dropped his knees for a fucking takedown quite a lot. I thought it was quite ironic that when he's fighting MMA guys, he boxes them, but when he's fighting the boxer, he was going for the wrestling. And there was a lot of criticism for those tactics, right? Online, even the commentary and the referee were going at him.
Rough tactics gotta stop, okay? The fans didn't pay to see this crap, okay?
Amen.
You're gonna fight, but fight within the rules, okay? Touch him up, fight clean.
Christopher Young with the quote of the night.
That was a bit of a low moment in the fight for me because I was starting to have like flashbacks to how bad the Mike Tyson fight was, and I'm like, God, this might actually be getting worse than that entertainment-wise. And I was just thinking about it from a Jake Paul perspective of like, he's putting on these massive events on Netflix, and you don't want to be known for like all the hype, and then the fights are just dog shit. And I think when you speak as confidently as Jake did, as much as we're not expecting you to be an idiot and just stand right in front of AJ and put your chin on a platter, people just expected a bit more aggression than what they were getting. And don't get me wrong, maybe I would have done the fucking same thing, right? Maybe I would have done the same thing. I'm not trying to be too critical here, because I am aware that he came from a fucking YouTube background, but when you're putting yourself across as a pro fighter and you behave like that in the ring, you're going to get critics. And look, the strategy, occasionally AJ would walk into range and and Jake would catch him with something. But like I said in my prediction, like, Jake Paul's power is not going to bother Anthony Joshua one bit. This is a little clip from round 4 where Jake actually did land, you know, a couple of nice little shots there. And AJ, is just sort of stalking him and trying to apply more and more pressure. It was probably his best round because he did land a couple of shots, but equally, you could see what that was taking out of him to do that. He was dropping to his knees more and more, buying time to try and recharge because you could tell he was getting fucking tired from all the running he was doing. And in round 5, AJ was just catching up to him easier and easier. He was hurting him. He dropped them a couple of times. That was the beginning of the end. And just to take another look at this knockout, I mean, fuck me. He sent him to a whole nother dimension there, like, fucking hell. I mean, to be fair to Jake, he just nods in approval, like, yeah, fuck me. That was a bad one. That was bad. And as frustrating as those early rounds were for AJ, just trying to chase this kid down and probably feeling a bit awkward, like, I was supposed to get him out of here now and I can't even get fucking near the kid. Ultimately, he did what he said he was going to do.
I did say to you is that, Jake, what's going to happen? I'm going to see a time when I'm going to take your soul and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. I got to take his soul. When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading. Some people give up, some people get knocked out.
Fuck me, that's badass. And look, AJ, he knew what was going to happen before the fight even took place. That's why he was so calm. And that's probably why in the first few rounds when Jake Paul's buzzing around like a fucking little bee, this is going to slow down. I'm going to get to you. And I said beforehand, the fitness, AJ is going to be fitter than you. Because normally when you're the smaller guy, you might have technique or speed or fitness. AJ is going to have it all. And once Jake stopped running, it was obvious. Like, AJ was actually fitter than him as well because he could keep that pressure up for longer. And it's funny because depending who people like after this, the narrative is going to be completely different. For example, Jake Paul's promoter said it wasn't a skill thing, it was a size thing. I was like, well, no, like once Jake Paul actually was forced to fight, the skills were worlds apart. But he did well to land a couple of punches. Like, I'm not going to take that away from him, and I think he should be fucking, proud of that he did land on AJ. He might have even won a round. That's something he could fucking take to the fucking grave. But let's not kid ourselves. If Jake Paul had have stood in front of Anthony Joshua from the first round and took it to him, he would have got knocked out in the first round. But maybe he would have had more of a chance of actually hurting AJ then. Because, like, the gas tank's getting drained, right, when you're running all over the shop, and your energy of your punches is also getting drained in the process. If you stand there early doors and you're full of energy, your punches are going to be harder. But it's being willing to take that level of risk. And I think on some level, Jake, morally, for himself, just wanted to get beyond the first few rounds just to say, I did that, no matter how he got there. And a lot of people are going to discredit it, and maybe rightly so. I'm not sure if AJ will feel great watching the fight back because there was so much pressure on him to get Jake out there early. But this was always a lose-lose, unless he knocked him out in 30 seconds. And with the strategy Jake came with, Jake knew it was a lose-lose. He was stinking that joint right up. And it's funny because his coaches were on about like your footwork. And I'm like, this ain't footwork though, is it? Like, footwork is in and out footwork movement and, outboxing someone. He wasn't outboxing him. He occasionally would tag him and then get running again. But like, that's not boxing footwork in the traditional sense. And I think any fighter of that level would have looked terrible in there against Jake Paul. Like, when someone's doing what he's doing, you're going to look like shit. It completely changes the whole point of you being in there with each other. You're supposed to be colliding, seeing who the better fighter is. That's it negates the whole fucking rules of boxing. So if it would have been Usyk, Fury, whoever the fuck, it would have been an ugly fight. Maybe Usyk, because he's really light on his feet, might have done, a better. But, Tyson Fury, for example, like, one of the reasons I think this fight was just able to start looking like a boxing match is because of the power that AJ has, that one-punch knockout power to slow him down. Tyson Fury does not have Anthony Joshua power. We've seen that in the Francis Ngannou fights and how different they went. Fury would have had it even worse than AJ in there, in my opinion. So I think there'll be a few boxers who watch that and go, thank fuck that wasn't me in there, because just getting your hands on this prick and fucking hurting him is a bit of a chore. But yeah, AJ had some ring rust. I thought there was times where he could have let his hands go, and maybe there was some openings that he didn't take. 18 months out the ring, am I surprised? No. Especially with a guy who's not coming forward and isn't going to be where a normal opponent would be. But he chopped him down. He broke him down. He got rid of him, and he did what he was supposed to do. So I don't think he should beat himself up about it.
It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down and hurt him. That has been the request leading up, and that was on my mind. It took a bit longer than expected, but the right hand finally found a destination. Now, Jake Paul, he's done really well tonight. I want to give him his props. He got up, time and time again. It was difficult in there for him, but he kept on trying to find a way. It takes a real man to do that. Anyone who laces up his gloves, we always say we give them their respect. We have to give Jake his respect for trying and trying and trying. Well done.
I fucking love AJ, by the way. Like, he just speaks like a fucking champion should speak. And like, he has led British boxing for a long time, and he's been a hell of an ambassador for us. He's just got a lot of class about him, you know?
But he came up against a real fighter tonight that's had a 15-month layoff. We shook off the cobwebs, and I can't wait to roll into 2026. And if Tyson Fury's as serious as he thinks he is, and he wants to put down his Twitter fingers and put on some gloves and come and fight one of the realest fighters out there that will take on any challenge, step in the ring with me next if you're a real bad boy. Don't do all that talking, AJ this, AJ that. Let's see you in the ring and talk with your fists.
Fucking love it. Get in, son. And I don't think that there's anything we can gauge from this performance of whether or not AJ beats Tyson Fury. I completely ignore it because it wasn't in any way applicable to what a fight with Tyson Fury would look like.
This sport has helped me so much in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so. Yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke. But, man, that was good. Nice little ass whooping from one of the best to ever do it. So I love this shit, and I'm going to come back and get a world championship belt at some point.
Are you surprised you went 6 rounds with the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion?
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I just got tired, to be honest. Like, it was just so much handling his weight. I think if I could have had better cardio, I think I could have kept it up and kept on fighting. But he did amazing. He hits really hard, and I just did my personal best.
Fair fucks to Jake. Again, it's a really hard fight for me to evaluate because on the one hand, you know, Jake's come a long way, so you want to give him credit for that. But on the other hand, you want to get in there with AJ. You want to talk about you're going to beat AJ up, and then you fight in a certain way. It's very hard for me to kind of give the right amount of credit and criticism here because the backstory is so inspiring, but the performance was not inspiring in some ways. I think for me now, I just want to see Jake Paul in a fucking competitive fight. And that's the problem with the direction he's been going in, is he puts on big fights, but not competitive fights. Fighting Chavez Jr., that was an easy win. Nate Diaz, an easy win. Mike Tyson, an easy win. Anthony Joshua, not competitive for the opposite reason. He's completely not expected to win, and it wasn't competitive. He stacks the chips too heavily either way, and because of that, we never actually get to find out how good Jake is. And part of that, I think, is maybe deliberate, because then we never know, and the storyline can go anywhere. And while you don't know really how good he is, there's always another dream to sell, and it's almost genius level promoting. It really is. But for his own sake, you know, you're getting into your late 20s now, your physical prime, you're only going to ever find out how good you really are by getting in there with people who are of the level that you claim you're at the right weight class. You are not a cruiserweight. You've got a layer of, body fat on you. You can't be doing that in boxing. If you're a serious boxer, you don't get in there looking like Jake Paul looks. You look shredded. And that's why really he's a light heavyweight. But like, fuck it. If you want to be cruiserweight, be a cruiserweight. Regardless, just fight people who are now like ranked, and let's find out where the fuck he is. Because surely, these money grab Tyson fight, the AJ fight, he's packed that bank chock full. And credit to him. Even if he has hustled people or whatever the fuck, credit to him. One of the best promoters in boxing history, actually. I really do believe that. Because even when fights seem ridiculous, he always gets people to tune in. And he's done great things with Netflix. And hopefully that opens doors up for other boxers, and he's certainly opened a lot of doors up for female boxers. So again, credit to him for that. But let's find out how good you really are now. Because I just don't want any more gimmick fights. I just want the real fucking deal. Fight Tommy Fury, for example. Let's see what a rematch like that looks like. As for Anthony Joshua, you got to fight Big Brother Fury, Big Tyson Fury. Surely that is coming this year. I think that's still a really fun fight. I'll really be excited. I know it's been a long time coming, but that's one of those fights that it's kind of like, who's the king of England? It's beyond belts. Because AJ has a CV that has way more depth to it, in my opinion, than Tyson Fury, and especially like AJ obliterated Jake Paul, right? Tyson Fury went life and death for Francis Ngannou. Like, Fury needs AJ on his resume. Big time. More than AJ needs Fury on his resume, in my opinion. But AJ has actually always been the one for a long time now, in my opinion, chasing this fight. Even after he got knocked out by Dubois, he was ready to go immediately, right? Let's get the Fury fight on. Fury didn't want to know. That's a fight for the fans. It's a fight for their legacies. And it's a fight they're going to make a fuckload of money. And I can't fucking wait for it. And going back to Jake Paul, if he doesn't do a Tommy Fury fight, maybe it's Canelo, because Canelo's now lost his dance partner in Terence Crawford. Maybe he'll fight Canelo, because that would do a whole bunch of money. And it is a more winnable fight than Anthony Joshua. And by the way, I've seen people again on X today saying, if he'd have fought Tank, it would have been worse for Jake Paul. Shut the fuck up, right? Shut the fuck up. This man's jaw has been rearranged. Tank Davis is tiny, and that fight would have been a freak show in a different way. But what we learned, Jake Paul can take a fucking shot. And I think that would have been a crazy fight for its own reasons. Anyway, let me know what the hell you made of this. I've really tried to be fair to Jake in this, and while also understanding the criticism from everyone. Weird fight. And my lasting memory will just be before the fight even took place, when they sort of touch gloves and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what the fuck is this shit? And I have to give credit to Jake for doing quite a few moments like that in his career. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I being harsh on Jake? Am I not harsh enough? I think it's going to be all over the place with these comments. Like the video if you haven't already. Stay subscribed to the Pain Game YouTube channel. I'll see you on the next one.